Hey everybody, welcome to Matt Men, your source for all things professional wrestling. I'm Adrian Zano. I'm joined by the one, the only, the peach snapple to my iced tea, Rich Stambolian.
Oh man, I haven't had a peach snapple in like 20 years, dude.
Weren't they great? Weren't they the best?
They were great until you turned into an adult and they immediately started poisoning your body.
Yeah, it's amazing, right? How that happens.
Adult bodies can't handle Snapple in Arizona iced tea. Like adult men bodies can. Let me cue you in on something. Adult men bodies cannot really handle anything anymore.
What was that? What's popping up on the lower thirds?
That's my.
I think MG's having a good time there.
Yeah, he's having a good time, just pressing all the buttons. Show all about professional wrestling and peach snapple. Listen, we're doing a show here, guys. Let's be a little professional. Clicking on random things, talking. Yes, Rich.
Real quick, Michael Redden, $5 in the super chat. Did you get me the Better Than You Baby shirt? You know what? Everything got sold out effing immediately. There was no merch left after about like 45 minutes of it opening.
Is that what happened?
Except for the regular shirts. The regular shirts they had tons of, but they had like the Mets / pinstripes one. They had the train stop. They had two versions of the train stop one. Both of those gone.
That's good. We're going to talk about that. It was a blast. I had a great day with you. A lot of great wrestling. Awesome. I left early, of course. I never stayed till the end of the show. But Rich stayed, so we're going to talk about that. I actually watched the end of the show at home.
Isn't that great?
That's amazing. Like I got on that 9:30. I was home by 8:40. 9:48. I was home. 9:40. No, 9:44. I was home.
That's awesome. That's really cool. So you caught the main.
I caught the main. Yeah. So I left and I caught everything. So I just caught up to it. It was a lot of fun. Where do you want to go, Rich? Where do you want to start? You want to talk about WWE business and then we'll go into our experience?
Absolutely. Since I feel like our experience in the AEW stuff is going to take up so much of the show, let's drop in on WWE. WWE has officially agreed to a 5-year domestic media rights partnership that will bring Friday Night SmackDown back to the USA Network beginning in October of this year.
Yeah, they're estimating that this is about a $1.5 billion deal between the two. And there's a lot more questions here. And the biggest one is, what happens with Raw and NXT?
Right.
Will they be opting not to take them? They haven't stated anything officially, but I would think that, I would think that this would not be the direction. Like, right? Like, you have SmackDown now. They're spending $1.5 billion over 5 years. It's about $280 million a year. Do you have a budget for your other two products? And if not, where do they go? Where do you put Raw and NXT?
That's an interesting question. I feel like USA lost Raw once. I don't think they're going to make that mistake again. NXT, I feel like you can shop NXT around a little more, right?
Well, I could tell you from the USA side, and I'm not talking like the top end executive side, but like people that are involved in USA, they very much believe that SmackDown is a superior show.
Interesting.
And SmackDown gets all the attention, and they don't, right? That's part of what they... And I've seen these conversations. I've heard these conversations. It's been said to me. So I don't know how much weight they have on Raw. Listen, I think the best thing would be SmackDown, all of it on USA, and everything is on Peacock, and they have the next day rights, and everything kind of makes sense in that perfect world. But I don't know if they have the money for it. I know that Amazon has been discussed. Is streaming an option? Do you move the day for Raw and put SmackDown on Mondays?
Now, how about this scenario? Friday night SmackDown, keep it, right? Monday night NXT, Wednesday night Raw.
You move Raw to Wednesday and obliterate AEW?
I feel like that would be a very interesting move. Yeah.
I would hope that we're past. I would hope that we're past the like competing with each other, because why are you doing that to the fans? You're not gaining anything from it. Like, nobody's gaining anything.
One thing about that is Raw. A lot of Raw's viewership is based on routine. So moving it days might affect it big time. Just a thought. Because a lot of people are used to just turning it on. It's on their DVR. It's programmed in on that day on Mondays.
Yeah. Yeah,
does Raw need a facelift if they're going to move it?
Then it's a totally different show. I don't know.
Wouldn't you mind seeing that though, Andrew?
What, Raw on a different night?
Raw on a different night with a bit of a facelift.
Yeah, we love that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the plan is there. I have no idea. But I do know that they're adding quarterly specials to NBC. So WWE is going to have a quarterly special on NBC. I'm curious about that and what they do there. You know, what day they put it on, if it's a Saturday or a Sunday special. There's a lot of moving parts here, and this is interesting. A lot of people took this as a loss for them, that Fox was not going to renew. But I think if anybody was following this, they realized that Fox wasn't going to renew. I think the media rights thing, they weren't willing to pay more for it. They did well on Fox, but you know, it's local market programming, and they could put something else on. And the preemptions didn't help them either, you know, that they were on. And if they were going to be preempted, Fox Sports was not where they were going to go, you know.
Right.
So I think this is the best thing for them. If they're all under one umbrella, it's great. If not, I don't know what they do with those two other products. I don't know what the benefit is. But now, you know, I'll tell you something. Those NXT numbers have come in at a right time. If you're in a decision-making process to renew on NXT, you're getting over 800,000 viewers the last 2 weeks. This is they haven't done those numbers in years.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of moving parts here. I think it's interesting. I'm not surprised that they're back to NBC, but you know, maybe you put Raw on ESPN.
That would be cool. That would be a cool move, you know. Or, you know, what's to say they can't move NXT back to, like, put it on Peacock, make it a Peacock exclusive.
Yeah, you could do that too. It's all possible, depending on where the money is. That's really what this comes down to. It's about money. It's not about the best synergy. It's about money at this point for them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. WWE Elimination Chamber announced for the Optus Stadium in Australia, taking place February 24th. Assuming that it's a local start time of 8 p.m., it would air 8 a.m. Eastern and 5 a.m. Pacific.
Can't wait. I will be at your place of breakfast and to watch this.
Is it a 12-hour difference? What's the time difference with Australia?
Yeah, it's 12 hours. 12. It might be. Yeah, it is. It might
I think
be
Perth is 12
in the winter. Yeah, Perth is 12, and the other side of the country is 14.
Yeah.
So
right, 8 a.m.
I'll show up with a couple of bacon, egg, and cheese, baby.
I love that. Oh, yeah, let's do that. Breakfast time.
I know. Mimosas.
Yeah. There was a WWE staff meeting at headquarters on Tuesday featuring Ari Emanuel, Vince McMahon, and Nick Khan. Vince introduced Ari as his boss. Emanuel's daughter will be working as a creative assistant at WWE. And Hulu says their next day streaming rights for WWE will expire soon. I don't know if you guys remember. Last year, they extended it. Ow, my ear is killing me. There's something jabbing in my ear from this headphone. Yeah, it's coming soon, so we're going to find out what that's probably going to be the next announcement. But it makes sense for those next day streaming rights to go to Peacock. Why not?
Oh, yeah.
That's the place to put it. Rich, you want to talk about the roster cuts?
So this week, I feel like this was a little bit expected. It's unfortunate when this happens. You know, we wish all these people the best. I feel like they're all going to land on their feet some way, right? A lot of roster cuts. This is the updated list as of now. Surprising people on this list, namely a Dolph Ziggler. I thought Dolph signed a lifetime contract with them.
Well, he gave his soul, right? Isn't that how it worked? Interesting cuts, though, right?
Yeah, Dolph. Yeah. Shelton Benjamin, another interesting cut. But I feel, again, like, dude's a legend, right? That guy will. I want to see him back in Japan. Elias, another surprising one. I thought Elias was a Triple H guy.
Yeah, you know what's funny? They did their whole thing, and then they just they did nothing. They were doing that angle, and then he disappeared.
Yeah,
is his brother fired?
That would be wild.
Elias is fired, but Ezekiel's still there.
Ezekiel's still employed. Rick Boogs is another one. I feel like Rick Boogs would be like an asset to like an NWA or like an Impact.
Yeah, he would do well there.
Aaliyah.
Okay.
Top Dollar is interesting. This is the second time Top Dollar's gotten fired.
Yeah.
And Madcap Moss, also, I'm very surprised by that because he was a Vince guy, right?
Good body guy.
Dana Brooke, I think she'll be fine. Emma, again, this is the second time she got fired. I feel like, all these people I think are going to be just fine, Yeah. Mustafa Ali, the man who wanted his release, finally got it.
Yeah, I'm curious what he does or where he goes.
He might be the most creative on this whole list of where he goes. His future is pretty bright.
Not Shanky? Shanky's not the one for you?
Mustafa, I could see in the international title picture in AEW. I feel like that would be a cool,
He's super talented.
Very talented. Shanky, Dawakoto, Mace, Mansoor. I'm shocked by the Mansoor one because Mansoor was their guy for those Saudi shows.
Yeah, but they made him into that, the model.
Did you see Mansoor went on his Twitch and talked about an idea he pitched with Cody Rhodes?
No.
He wanted Cody Rhodes to do the crossroads to him, break his nose, and then turn the male models heels and wear the Cody mask and do that whole
great idea.
That's actually a very creative idea.
Great idea. Quincy Elliott from NXT, Yulisa Leon from NXT, Alexis Gray from NXT, Deanna MacArthur NXT, Brooklyn Barlow from NXT, and Alexis Gray again from NXT. MG, when you put this together, did she get fired twice in the same day?
Yeah, she did. Or at least I looked it up twice, apparently. Jesus.
There you go, bud. I think I could honestly see a couple of these people being brought back, especially since it's September. And I feel like the crowd is going to be hyped for a Dolph Ziggler Rumble return if it happens.
Oh, my God. That's his song, right?
You sang it, right? You're the one who recorded that.
I did record it, but I forgot. I forgot all the words. I would expect this is not the last of the... Whoa, it's happening.
Oh, uh-oh. This is like that movie, Prince of Darkness, where Satan travels through time.
I am the light keeper. I am Azora Hyde. I don't know if you know this. I am the bringer of light. Little inside reference. MG has no idea what I'm talking about.
No.
No. But Rich does.
All right.
I understand that one too.
You got it?
Yeah. He got it. Jonathan got the joke.
I want to do that effect, but for both of us for the next 45 minutes.
It's happening. You know what it is? I haven't rebooted the production machine, and it doesn't like that when I don't reboot it like twice a day. So it does this. I would expect more cuts, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know when they're coming, but I think there's more developmental cuts that are going to come, and there's definitely more main roster cuts. Because think about it. They have a process of evaluating. Maximum potential. Are they selling merch? What are we doing with them? By giving them time on TV, who are we taking it out of that we can maximize their growth and their profits? It's all numbers. It's all numbers. So, I'm surprised by the Dolph one. I'm surprised by the Dolph one probably the most.
What's your guys' favorite Dolph Ziggler moment? Do you got one?
The cash-in. Right?
Yeah,
that has to be it. Yeah, him winning the title. Great. That was fantastic. And they, I thought that they were going to pull the trigger and turn him into like more of a baby face, but they stuck him heel. They didn't change him. And that crew was over. Him, Big E, and
AJ Lee.
AJ Lee, yeah.
That was great.
That was a good crew.
Stuff. Yeah, I got an under
that crew, or was Vicky later?
Vicky wasn't in that. Vicky was before.
Okay.
I got an underrated one that I think is pretty cool because it was kind of a one-off. 2014 Survivor Series when they shoved him in that group with John Cena, and he was the lone survivor of the whole thing, and Sting made his debut that night.
Oh, that was you're going to be fired if you lose, right? That was the match?
Yeah. And from what I remember, if I don't know this for sure, but from what I remember, he was basically a replacement for Roman Reigns, who couldn't go because he had a hernia. Still, he didn't get cleared, so they plugged him in, and then they dropped Dolph off the face of the planet after that. They didn't do anything follow up with any of that. He had such a good run that night.
Yeah, I believe that was another release this morning.
Could have been.
Ike Manjaro, I think.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Right? Is that the one?
Ike Manjaro, yeah.
Another guy they weren't doing anything with.
Eichmann, Jiro.
Eichmann.
I like Eichmann.
I can't read anymore. So apparently, well, not apparently, but The Rock was on Pat McAfee's show on Friday. This is the point of the show where Jonathan goes into a fugue state because we're talking about Pat McAfee. So according to The Rock, he had discussions in early 2022 last year with Nick Khan and Vince McMahon about facing Roman Reigns at WrestleMania in Los Angeles. It was locked in. They didn't like the story, so it's on hold, but he hinted it could take place this coming year in Philadelphia.
Well, it has to.
It has. It's got to, right?
We reported this, I think, it was December 2021. I think we broke this down that the conversations had started and they had wanted him. And the answer from WWE, whenever I asked, was, their official stance was, whenever Dwayne is ready, we're ready for him. So, there was a lot of people denying if he was wrestling or not. Creatively, I know that they were they had started and they had meetings, and I know Rock wanted to do it. I think there were creative issues that went along, but around the time it came out that The Rock was in the ring and he didn't feel it, he didn't have enough time to train. I don't believe he ever took out insurance.
No.
So I don't think his underwriter, he had insurance taken out. So I don't know if he ever intended. I know that the creative was not where he wanted to go with it. I hope they could do it this year, because this is the only year you really can do it. Your window's closing, right?
I also think this is Rock's apology tour, and he's trying to do a make good for Black Adam, for the Hawaii thing, for whatever, just trying to show his face on TV again so people don't forget him.
Losing $60 million on the XFL.
He lost $60 million on the XFL, and they're merging now with the USFL. So that's interesting there, and the writer's strike is ending. So now we don't know what they're planning on doing.
Yeah, exactly.
But they have to lock this guy, and I know Endeavor wants this match. I know people at Endeavor, because remember, he's a crossover star. The BMF title was presented by him, wasn't it?
Yeah, arguably
the original one.
Arguably the biggest crossover star too, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I will say this. I will throw something here. On the McAfee show, he did specifically say, "I can control my schedule." So if he locks in that he's doing Mania,
I know. I know that he could lock it in, but you could only lock it in now when you don't have a commitment. He doesn't control his schedule when he's committed to a project. He's not committed to anything right now because there's nothing to commit to. So if they could work it out today that there's a blackout date for him from January to April, they could figure that out. That's an easy thing to figure out now for them.
Well, you also got to figure that the dude's, it's not just a one guy, he's a brand.
He's a brand, yeah.
It's 10 people going, hey, listen, think about this. You can't do that. You got to do this. He's got his own writers. He's got his own promo team. He is a brand. On that backstage little snippets that we saw from SmackDown, you saw how many people were in Gorilla with him. Those are all his people, So it has to go through
on TV.
Yeah, we saw a social media guy on
camera
TV.
guy on stage. Yeah, camera guy on stage behind him.
And then later that night, after the Pat McAfee show, showed up in a segment on SmackDown with Austin Theory and Pat McAfee. I popped.
Yeah, that was great.
Fun moment. Good Rock stuff. He looked good. And Austin, I think, held his own in that segment.
Yeah, I thought Austin did good. And good for that kid, huh? Absolutely. He had a moment with Steve Austin. He had a segment with Dwayne. He had a match with... He had a segment with Austin, right? I think so. Yeah, he did. He had the match. He did the match with Austin. And then he had with Cena. He's living the life. Good for him.
Yeah, he's the slow burn, I think.
Yeah, interesting stuff. AEW Grand Slam Wednesday night's special Grand Slam episode did 984,000 viewers, which was up 10.8%, almost 11% from last week. However, this was done from the last two Grand Slam shows. However, this was
okay. It's worded wrong.
Down. I think he meant down.
Down.
I need a second. Hold on, guys. I'm so sorry.
Look at this giggly
Andrew's
right
rebooting.
now. He's like,
rebooting.
he's gonna reboot you, man.
God,
Can
why?
you reboot MG?
Why?
Can you reboot MG?
He was down from the last two Grand Slam shows. 2021 did 1.273 million with a 0.48. Last year did 1.039 with a 3.5, and this year did better in the demo, 0.36, but 9.84. Not bad number. I thought this year's show was much better than last year's show.
I have great memories of both. Last year's show had Muda though, so that kind of does it for me a little bit. And Action Bronson, Muda. It was. I think last year's show was it's a pretty good Muda. Last year's show may have been like a quote unquote bigger show, but I liked the flow of this year's show a lot better. It was very tight.
Yeah. I liked it. I liked this. I thought this year's show was much better. Let's go into this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Go, Rich. You do it.
So, first of all, big ups to AEW Media for hooking it up. We got our press passes a few days ago. Our seats were effing tremendous. So whoever's listening out there, thank you very much. Great job for putting us where you did. It was you, myself, and Alex, our buddy, hanging out all day, eating good food, drinking beers, meeting people, shaking hands, kissing babies, doing the whole nine.
Meeting people.
People always tell me. So we were walking around all day, legitimately meeting people, shaking hands, kissing babies, doing the whole nine. Did you have fun?
I had a blast. Yeah.
It was a blast. It was a really great time. We went to Ebb's Brewery. Ahead of the show, we met Kate from Fightful. Ahead of the show,
we met Kate. We met Cassidy. We saw a bunch of people. We saw a lot of people
Cassidy.
from Fightful.
Queen of the Ring.
We met Alex. I thought I had a blast. I had a really good time. And it is a really interesting venue to run this.
Yeah.
This year, they had a very different setup. They had a stage that was custom for this. This is a brand new stage that we saw, by the way.
Very cool. Yeah.
All right. The ramp they had, but the ramp was done nice. The staging was done nice. They fit about 11,000 people in there. There was a last couple day blitz of PR done here in New York. And it definitely helped them. And this is something that we were talking about prior weeks where, there wasn't much marketing happening here in the city. And, you're in a market that is used to going out and spending money. You're in a market that people are looking to do things. I think they would have had probably the same amount of people if they had invested a little bit more into marketing to fill that venue up. But the last couple of days helped. The building looked fine. It looked full. It's an oddly shaped building. So even if it is full, right, you could only see that first tier because the second tier is so high because it's for tennis.
Oh, it's really high. Like those nosebleeds are like true nosebleeds. They are way the F up there.
But there's no bad seat. I mean, the seats are fine.
No. And they have that giant monitor at the top of the arena too. So like you could see everything, It's not like you have like any kind of obstructed view. And listen, got to hand it to MJF for putting more asses in those seats.
Yeah, he worked
doing
hard
that media blitz,
Yeah. Fightful. No, this can't be real. No, this is fake. Never mind. Yeah.
Do you want to go into the show?
Yeah, somebody posted a fake Fightful account posted that Carmelo Hayes has been released.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, that came out yesterday.
Yeah, it came out. I just saw it.
Yeah, don't
Sean
listen to those.
Posted. Yeah, Sean just posted that. It's a fake account.
Was it Ross Cesarian?
It's not, dude. Ross Cesarian. I don't know, man. He came down. I left. You met him. I didn't meet him. He's wearing a big Rasta hat. He has like a big weed symbol on his shirt. He stunk of dank reefer, really dank.
I was not there.
I don't know who it was. I thought it was amazing. You were there. He was there in spirit, haunting me.
Yeah. Show opens. Dynamite opens. Eddie Kingston defeating Claudio Castagnoli to win the Ring of Honor title. What a callback to Masawa versus Kawada.
Dude, they had a great match.
Yeah.
Great match. And You know what's interesting? So like normally when I'm at wrestling, I don't know if you have this problem too or anybody. You know when you're up high, you have the TV, you have the screen also. So I tend to watch both. Right? And sometimes I tend to like get stuck on the screen because it's it's a much larger shot.
Yeah.
We didn't have a screen, so we were watching wrestling like we were at like a regular indie event, where there is no screen. Those guys were hitting the crap out of each other.
It was so good. It was so good. And you know what? I think I confirmed this yesterday with Alex. He finally gets it. He got it. He gets it now. It clicked. I think after just being that close and seeing all the heavy hits and the work that goes into it and all the production surrounding it. Great event, man. Like this is definitely top 10 for me.
Oh yeah. This was one of the most fun shows I've been to. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. I thought it was great. So Eddie Kingston defeated Claudio Castagnoli to win the Ring of Honor title. He's still the New Japan Strong champion, right? Openweight.
Yeah.
Openweight? What is the title? New Japan Strong.
Yeah.
MJ.
I think he's never openweight.
Never openweight. There you go.
Oh, okay.
The never openweight title. There you go. They showed a video of Matt Taven and Mike Bennett praying with rosaries at the bedside of Roderick Strong. I thought this segment was great. So I didn't get a chance to see it when this was happening. I actually watched it this morning again, and it was so freaking funny, the entire segment. I was not a fan of this, and it kind of sold me, this entire experience. So, I thought this was done well, this segment. We then go into a Christian Cage issuing a TNT triple threat challenge for him, Luchasaurus, and Darby Allin.
Great.
Cool. And then this match was great, too. I very much like this match. Chris Jericho, Absolutely. Sammy Guevara, you got some amazing pictures of this.
I got really good shots that we're going to post on the Mattman account and on the Mattman IG. So follow both accounts. And today we're gonna throw some stuff up there.
I'll have those up later today.
We were close enough that we got some really, really good shots. I think all of us did too.
Yeah, I thought so. Let's talk about this match. Yeah, they did the Shawn and Jericho ending.
Oh, so
where good. Jericho low blows Shawn.
Blah blah
blahs. What happened to him? Where is Charles in charge?
Who? Blah blah blah.
Yeah, where is he?
I think he lost his mind.
Did he?
No longer in charge.
He's no longer in charge. The kids are running rampant. He came with the house, right? Was that the deal?
He came with the house.
They sold him with the freaking house.
He was, what people don't know, in the pilot episode, he gets a witch's curse put on him, and he is forever in the house.
Yeah, same age.
Can't leave
forever
the house.
17. Scott Baio's forever 17, looking 46.
Exactly.
Yeah, very interesting stuff. Where were we? Oh,
MJ, so they did the low blow push down with Sammy and Jericho.
Yeah, love it. I thought the match was great. Jericho's so freaking dense.
Oh, what a thick guy.
I mean, like, I don't think he has the same problem as Rob Van Dam does. They have Wolverine bones.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's so dense and heavy. And you could see, like, when he drops on the mat, he's taking that thing so hard compared to everybody else. The whole building was
really
like, from the ring just making the sound, it was just like a bomb exploding.
300 pounds of adamantium.
That man is made out of adamantium. Yeah.
But he looked great. Like, he looked great. Yeah. He moved great, but he is just a dense person, and like you said, like when Sammy hits the mat, it's a noise, but when Jericho hits the mat, it's an explosion.
Yeah. I thought this was a really fun match. MJF and Adam Cole arrived to the arena in MJF's green Porsche. But before they go inside, Adam takes a call from Roderick Strong. It was a funny segment. MJF was annoyed by it. This was fascinating. Ray Phoenix and Jon Moxley for the AEW International Championship. Moxley got injured right when the match started.
Yeah.
Okay? He was loopy. And I don't know, so you were closer to this when you were watching it. I walked away for a minute and I was watching it from behind. Everybody thought he got hurt on that What was the move that Rey Fenix did?
The double driver at the end.
The driver, yeah.
Pile driver. Toward the end of the match.
No, it was it was a driver. It was a sit down driver. So everybody thought it was the driver, and it wasn't. So he does the driver, goes for the pin. 1, 2. The ref stops the pin.
Yeah,
and he's like, no. John's shoulder's not there, and John screams "F you" at one point.
Yeah,
to the ref. And they do the spot again, and they go for the pin, and Rey Fenix wins the title. This was not supposed to happen. There was not supposed to be a title change here.
Mm-hmm. Now, MG, you watched it at home, right?
Yeah.
Did TV catch that first pin attempt or no?
They did.
Or was that quickly edited?
They did, but you didn't see. You didn't see. You could tell he said something to the ref, but it was hard to say what it was. And I was doing a couple things while I was watching it, so I started paying attention after it happened. Okay. I was like, oh, something huge is happening here.
So we did. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Washing the dishes, and I saw something with a corner of my eye, but I didn't really see it, and I heard it, but I didn't really hear it. But maybe something happened. Thank you for that beautiful report of what happened.
Just say you weren't paying attention.
I wasn't paying attention.
But you could tell there was something a little those guys have such chemistry, and I think that's really the thing that got them through that whole match, and the celebration at the end was cool, but according to reports, Moxley left on his own volition, and he may be slightly concussed, right?
Yeah. He apparently got concussed, and he's okay. Thank God it's not because he didn't move, right? After that second one, he laid there. Yeah, and I don't know if they showed it on what they were commercial break or what they were but he was not moving, and it was a little concerning. And then he got up, and then he walked out on his own. So
I think a lot of people thought it was a neck. It was
and that would have been terrible. That guy needs a couple days off. Okay, I think you got to give Mox a little. This may be a little positive here, right? You have the title on Rey Fenix, have him defended for a couple weeks. Give Mox some time off. Because that guy's been, just nonstop for 3 years.
He's a workhorse, man. I feel like he just wants to keep wrestling.
Listen, if he could do it, he could do it. My God, they have something in him for sure. He's a mega talent. Saraya defeated Toni Storm to retain the AEW Women's title. This was a fun match.
Yeah, what'd you think about Toni Storm entrance?
She's fantastic.
It was good.
Yeah. She's great. I love that gimmick. I like what she's doing. MJF defeated Samoa Joe in the main event to I want you to read that. I want you to read that.
Who, me or him?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
MJF defeated Samoa Joe to defend the AEW World title. Bret Hart, intro, Shrubroot. I'm reading it right off the screen. MJF defeated Samoa Joe by, he said he was going to choke him out, and he did. He had a little bit of an assist. He had the tape. He wrapped it around shenanigans.
Shenanigans, wrapped it around his neck, and then went for the choke, and that was it. And they shook hands at the end. And Max celebrated.
Adam Cole covered for him. Hid the tape.
Did he hurt his ankle? What did he do?
Something happened because he came out of the show hobbling. He was him and Mox were the two.
AEW Grand Slam
hop out of the ring.
AEW Rampage Grand Slam. Yeah. Tonight, here are the matches: Sting Darby versus Christian Cage and Luchasaurus. Brian Cage, the Gates of Agony against the Bucks and Hangman for the ROH 6-man titles. Orange Cassidy, Hook, and Chris Statlander versus Angela Parker, Matt Menard, and Anna Jay. The Acclaimed and Daddy S defend the Trios title against Evil Uno, Alex Reynolds, and John Silver. The Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett versus the Hardys versus the Righteous versus the Best Friends for a shot at the ROH tag team titles at Wrestle Dream. Mike Santana will be in action, and Julia Hart versus Sky Blue.
Very cool.
Yeah, very cool. Nice 2-hour lineup there. For Collision.
For you.
Hang on. For Collision.
For you guys, real quick.
Hold on 1 minute, please. For Collision.
Okay.
Bryan Danielson versus Ricky Starks at a Texas Tornado death match. and Switchblade versus Andrade, which I'm very excited for.
Oh, yeah.
Luchasaurus, Christian Cage, and Darby Allin for the TNT titles. RVD will be in action. FTR defends the AEW tag titles against the Workhorsemen, JD Drake and Anthony Henry. You can now ask your question.
What's your question, MJ?
Sorry, I apologize. So how was it with Rampage being partially taped before the show, before Dynamite?
Yeah,
they did a good job.
Yeah, they taped the 6-man, the Orange Cassidy, Hook, and Chris Statlander match, and they also filmed the Mike Santana match. And Mike Santana opened the show. He looks
big
so
boy.
Big boy Mike Santana.
So did they put the branding up for Rampage and then change it back?
Well, no. Well, here's the fun thing, okay? They have an LED screen now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Okay? This was the first time they were using it. They got an LED that they use, so they're now quickly able to just change it because the side skirts, you only have two other side skirts. You have 2 panels and 2 side skirts now.
Yeah, it looks great.
Weird, Rich.
Yeah, here he is. Yeah, it looked really good. I thought the setup, that staging looked great. I'm curious how often they use it and where else they use it, but that was a nice little staging that they got.
It was fun, yeah.
All right, let's go into Q&As.
Yeah, let's do it, guys. All right, MG, can you handle the questions or should I do it?
He's having a rough week.
I think he's are you having a hard time, buddy? Do you need to talk to somebody?
I'm good. I'm
also
here. You sure? That doesn't sound too good. Oh, yeah, Jonathan's here.
Mike Swoltana. That's what his name is.
That's a good one. Jonathan, who else has access to the questions?
I
can do it.
I'm right here.
Okay, so let's start with the super chats, please.
Got you. All right,
guys, we're gonna hit these questions up. We're doing a tight show today, so if you want to super chat us, feel free to super chat us any amount. It goes to a good cause. It's gonna pay for MG's whatever production Andrew's gonna do on MG. It's gonna pay for it.
Your video froze, by the way.
Oh boy, great.
Oh,
sounds
bananas.
Awesome.
Oh no.
Oh, bananas.
This is by Anurag.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what this dollar amount is. It's not dollar. It's 100 yen, I think.
I don't believe that's a yen. I don't think that's a yen.
No. What is that?
I think that is Martian currency.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. From the homeland.
From the homeland.
The question.
Thank you so much.
Wrestlers should do more media before pay-per-views and special events as it benefits walk-in audience and also new viewers. The ratings were great.
Yeah, 100%. I think the PR blitz that they did, the local market PR blitz that they did with everyone, because Orange Cassidy was out there, Chris Statlander was out there, MJF was on every show. He was at Citi Field for the Mets game on Sunday, which you were there, Rich.
It was a fun time.
Yeah, so I think that helped. Listen, you're in Citi Field. Obviously, it's not a sellout. Season is shit right now for the Mets, but they had about 20-something thousand people in that building, right? And it's right next door, Arthur Ashe, to Citi Field. So,
exactly,
it's an easy layup for marketing. You got your world champion there promoting the event that's next door in 3 days. So, yeah, local marketing is what I do. Okay, this is how I think when it comes to wrestling. How I think for my professional life. I will tell you that more grassroots marketing approaches are working better than they had done in years past. I think there's too much saturation now, and the best way to get in front of somebody is literally get in front of them. And that's what they did. And I thought it was very smart. I thought their marketing was very smart the last 3 days. I would have loved to see it weeks prior and use your local New York stars. And they have a ton. That entire company is either, it's NYWC alum.
Oh, my God, yeah. Tons of New Yorkers on that roster.
Bear Bronson. He's there.
Mike Santana.
The Iron Savages. Mike Santana. Ortiz. MJF. Half of the Dark Order.
Eddie Kingston.
Trent
Beretta, Long Island boy. So they have a lot of this. They have a lot of local people there, and they benefit when they do this. Chris Statlander, Long Island.
Yep.
So I thought they did a good job with that.
Big Bill,
our boy from Queens, New York, the biggest of Bills, Big Bill,
Big Billions. That's what
Big Billions
changed his name to. All right, what's next? What's the next super chat?
We have $5. It's not a question, but from the Ringside Club, the air went out of the building for a while until we saw Mox move his legs and then finally get up.
Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, it was very confusing. It was rough. You know, it was interesting because when the ref went to do the 3 and didn't do the 3, the crowd got angry. They were booing. And then they realized that when Mox is not moving, it really got silent. The air got sucked out of that building.
Yeah, but they work so tightly that I think if Phoenix carried the guy, you could hardly tell. You knew something may have been a little off, right?
Yeah.
But you could hardly tell. Those guys have such great chemistry, you know? And Mox is indestructible, dude.
Yeah. Uh-oh, it's happening. My camera.
What's happening?
Now it's fine. Never mind. All right, what else?
All right, we have 10 Canadian dollars from Glassdoor Gamer. He went.
That's like $50.
Yeah, it's like $130.
He said, "I want to see Ali, Shelton, and Ziggler in AEW. Also need to see Joe versus Danielson before Bryan retires. Also, I think NBCU is going to get NBA and Raw stays on Mondays."
I don't know who ends up in AEW. You know, I don't know if it's in their plans. You know, like who do you grab from here? Is Ziggler? Do you want to pay Ziggler what he wants? You know, I always talk about it. You know, this was our joke for years on the show. Get a Dolph Ziggler, put a beard on him, and call it a day, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And he did that. He did that for a while.
Yeah.
Same thing with Ryder, right? We were talking about this. Have him off TV, grow a beard, you know, and get super jacked, and there you go. And the guy's having a phenomenal career on the Indies doing that. So I think for Ziggler, you know what, dude? He has to show up in GCW.
I would love it if Ziggler showed up in GCW.
That's what he needs to do.
Also, so Ziggler's been on the road for a million years. I feel like the guy should take some time off. And I know that he wanted to get into acting for a little bit, and he was in a few things here and there. I feel like why not? Why not just go for it? If he saved his money, he's probably very, very well off at this point.
Wasn't he dating Amy Schumer?
I believe so, but I think before she blew up too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's that bell for?
By the way,
Garcon? Is our food ready?
No, the match. The match is out of control. Someone get a referee out here.
By the way, the
Shelton.
Just real quick, the date he's got, the non-compete date is December 20th. So that's the day everyone can.
So everybody will be okay to come back for the Rumble. Great.
Yeah, exactly.
Ali, I would say Ali would be a
international
great addition there. Shelton would be a great hand to teach these young guys, and you know he worked in New Japan. Or maybe he wants to retire. I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of these guys.
He could go there.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But I think Ziggler is interesting. You know you know, listen, man. Sometimes a guy goes away, and then you like Zack Ryder. Great. You know, we brought him up. He's a great example of reinventing yourself and making it work for you, right? He was a guy in WWE that nothing was happening for him at that point. Yep. And the crowd was so into him, and they finally gave it to him, and then they just took it right away, and Kane murdered him. You know?
Yeah.
And he got, you know, kind of cucked by John Cena.
But I think also, like, he always says he was like a young guy at the time and didn't get that aspect of like politicking or protecting your character.
Of course, he's happy to be there. He's a kid that grew up loving wrestling. Of course, he's happy to be there. You also didn't have options. He found a great option for him. You know, and I think Ziggler could do the same. And I think Shelton could be a great trainer and a mentor to young talent. And Ali is still in his prime. So, you know, he has a look for sure. I don't know where he fits. I think for AEW, they need to be careful because they have so much talent and so many bodies. Like Collision last week, I loved it. I had fun watching it, but it's just bodies.
Bodies. There's a good argument for making Ali their new Chicago guy. Because
he's a Chicago guy.
Like Chicago loves AEW. I think, you know, Ali, Chicagoan, throw him in that mix. Shelton can do it. All these guys can do whatever they want.
Imagine he just comes out with the Punk gimmick. He just does the CM Punk thing. They just replace another Chicago guy with another one. He just has his satchel, his garbage bag.
His satchel?
His satchel, his red satchel.
That's what I want Elias to show.
Are you going to join the cult, by the way? I'm
already
starting
it.
it.
You told me you were
good.
going to get me one of those.
Yeah.
I do think if Elias could keep the gimmick and change his name, and he shows up with like the over-the-shoulder satchel to different indie shows, that would make me very happy.
And listen, Elias is a great example too, right? A guy with the body. He has the body, and he had the gimmick. It was working.
He was great on the mic.
He was over, funny guy. And they felt that that they couldn't go anywhere more with him. Just have him do that. Why would it matter?
Yeah.
And then have him get serious. And have him, if you present these guys in a very serious way, you could do something. Shelton Benjamin and BCC would be the crew for him.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
MG, you mentioned that yesterday too.
Did he?
He did.
I think I did.
Yeah, he did in the group chat.
Dude, he was melting down. So a little behind the scenes stuff. We're not going to mention who's helping us with this, but we hired a social media director. Okay.
Great guy.
And great guy. And he was giving, like what we need to do. And I could feel MG just slowly melting into a puddle. He was melting down. It's okay.
Yeah, he was like,
we're all here. We're all doing this together.
Is that what made you freak out this week, MG? Or are you just like having like an annual meltdown?
No, yesterday was a nightmare for me. It was bad.
Yeah, it's okay.
I recovered. Okay. I came out the other side okay.
Good.
Thank you, Jonathan.
MG and I might have hopped on a FaceTime about 4 times to talk this man off a little.
Oh my god.
I don't think people realize that we have a team here. We have a good, 5-person crew that does everything here.
Yeah.
For this show.
Gets knocked out. All right, next question. Another 2 Canadian from Glassdoor Gamer. Arthur Ashe pay-per-view next year?
I mean, they could do it, but you also remember the window of opportunity is very small for Arthur Ashe. Mm-hmm. You can't run it when the USTA is using the facilities all freaking summer, right? So your window of opportunity is very small, and it's not a heated stadium. Okay, so essentially it's like a bubble. It's an outdoor stadium with like a mesh roof on top.
Yeah, I get that cloth roof.
It's a cloth roof. Yeah, that fire was coming. I was talking to someone from AEW, and I was like, dude, that pyro is coming a little too close to that tarp.
Did the pyro make you shit your pants a little bit?
Dude, it was so loud and hot.
It was the first pyro.
I almost fell.
I'll admit, my butthole got a little skittish. I was like, oh.
Because we weren't that close to the pyro, but we were,
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it was for the people that were in that, like, your friends section.
Oh, yeah.
Those poor kids, they were set ablaze.
Yeah. They would have to do it. If they were to do a pay-per-view next year, it would have to be from this coming weekend, a year from now, up till October 1st. I think
did we talk about this? I don't think we mentioned it. There's another pay-per-view in December.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. And so I'm a little loud. I don't know if you know this. And I was talking to somebody from AEW, and there were a couple people standing there. And I'm like, so you're going to say anything about this Friday pay-per-view you have in December? And I got like the dirtiest look because I was blasting it as loud because I'm deaf. I can't hear a thing. I'm not making a joke of the hearing impaired. I really cannot. My hearing is shot.
Yeah, you need. If you're hanging out with Andrew, you need to repeat shit like 6 times.
6 times, and it's not because I'm not listening. It's that I can't hear you. If you and I are talking like this, I'm fine. But
when it's quiet,
when it's quiet. But the ambient noises just take over my body, and I'm controlled by them, and they tell me to do things I don't want to do.
You're the real Randy Orton.
I am the real Randy Orton. I hear voices in my head. So I don't think Arthur Ashe will be getting a pay-per-view. I think the problem with Arthur Ashe is the dates available for that stadium. I think Tony really wants to run a New York market, and this is really the only building that he could run. But, here's the deal. We are getting a 25,000-plus person stadium across the street from this building, okay?
Can't wait.
We're getting a soccer stadium for NYFC, not NYWC. NYWC is not getting a soccer stadium. NYFC is getting a soccer stadium. So you know what? You want to put together a pretty cool summer, here's an example, right? they're going to do All In next year. That's going to be a big show. But, maybe in a couple of years, maybe they don't want to run All In a 60,000 plus stadium. You can still get that stadium effect and put 35,000 people on there because you put people on the floor. You could have a really cool vibe with 30-something thousand people in Arthur Ashe, and you're running an outdoor stadium in New York City during the summer. Automatic sellout, guarantee sellout.
Well, you know what I like. You're giving me the goosebumps just thinking about it. But like once we get that soccer stadium, who's to say that they can't run Forbidden Door there or any other pay-per-view?
Anything, that's what I mean. Any pay-per-view, any outdoor pay-per-view from June to September. Yeah, and they got pay-per-views every month.
I got a serious question for you, Andrew.
Yeah.
Are you moving in 2026 because when FIFA's there and the U.S. Open is there in Queens and everything is just on top of you at once, what are you going to do?
Well, I'm far away enough from there where I don't have to deal with it, which I'm not, which I am.
Right. Like, so we are about 2.5 miles away, 2.5, 3 miles away from Arthur Ashe, right? And Citi Field. We don't get that. We don't get the traffic on our end
because we don't have a subway here. There's no subway.
We're tucked away.
Right.
Yeah, we're tucked away.
Yeah.
It's more west coming to east traffic than anything.
But I am going to move when they pass that ridiculous housing bill where everybody could have people living in their freaking garage and basement now in New York City. Did you see this nonsense?
Oh, here it comes. This is the turn. This is when the show turns.
So this is what I'm going to do. Are you guys ready? This is what I'm going to do.
Curtis Sliwa hour. Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, they're ruining the city.
Ladies and gentlemen.
They're ruining the city. Reptilians living in your garage. Mole men in your basement. In New York, the zoning laws are shifting. So now residential homes could rent out their basement without an egress. So all these house fires are going to happen. I'm not sure if it's without an egress, but they're going to rent out the basements, and you could convert your garage. So here's my deal.
They're actually letting that happen.
Okay? I'm going to get the hell out of the city. I'm going to go out to Long Island, okay? Somewhere like Oyster Bay, North Shore.
Oyster Bay's all right.
Oyster Bay's great.
North Shore, there you go. Yeah. North Shore.
I'm going to go North Shore, Long Island, okay? I'm going to rent my garage for $2,800 a month. I'm going to rent my basement for $2,200 a month, and I'm going to rent my house for $5,000 a month.
But with Fred in the basement.
Fred comes with the basement. Yeah, that's the deal. It's a Charles in Charge gimmick. Yeah.
I'll take the house.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, so I got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can make $10,000 a month on renting this house.
Oh, forget it. You could probably make more if you really separated. If you did some home and quote unquote.
Yeah, I can make it into a 2-family
spaces. Oh, forget it.
I'm gonna close out. I'm gonna make this into a 4-family house. I'm gonna have doors on every side of the house. I'm gonna box in rooms. Okay, and I'll make a killing. You know what? You ruined the city. I'm out of here.
Communal bathroom.
I'm walking here. Yeah, communal bathroom.
Classic opium den.
A trough. I'll put a trough in.
No, thank you. No,
I'm going to have 18 effing people living in this house. I don't give a shit anymore. I'm out of here. Sayonara, suckers.
I don't know how you guys feel, but I find a trough in any kind of bar or restaurant effing gross.
Laboom.
Laboom.
It was a bunch of uncircumcised Latin penises just flapping around in Laboom.
But that's why you took so long in the bathroom. You were like, "Can I see that for a second?"
Ooh, I did one of those.
Can I take a look at that for a second?
What do we have here?
That's how Andrew gets in trouble when we go
out. Hi, boys.
Can I take a look at that thing? I'm a doctor. I need to examine it.
Okay.
Juan, come over here. All right.
We have $1.99 from Matt Logan. Just a comment.
Thanks,
which
Matt.
looks like a small Bubba Ray Dudley.
He is Bubba Ray Dudley. He got the tables.
Get the tables.
See, look. Issa in the chat room, right? She got a little worked up at the uncircumcised Latin penis joke.
Where is she?
She's in there.
She's in there.
She's in there. She's in there.
She's in
Last
there.
Door Gamer again, $2 Canadian. Thoughts on when/if Mercedes or Edge may debut?
Mercedes is still hurt, so I don't know her recovery time, or as far as I knew. And Edge, I don't know, but you know what? I got to tell you, like AEW, if you can, I think that would be a great replacement for. Listen, you're selling. Oh God, I just want people to leave me alone in peace and stop asking me for insane requests at 11:30 in the morning.
Are you gonna have a meltdown now? Is it your turn?
Ladies and gentlemen, what they're doing to the housing market in New York City. My guest, Curtis Sliwa. Curtis is getting arrested daily.
Did MG pass his meltdown onto you through the airwaves?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he's passed it. Edge would be fantastic for AEW. You know, they're running 12 pay-per-views a year. They're getting that deal with Max done. TV rights deal is coming up. You want to pop your Collision numbers a little bit. You want to have this as an equal playing field. Dynamite is getting on track the last 2 weeks. I think he would be a great bet, but I don't. If he wants to do it, he'll do it. You know, and if Tony wants to dish out the money, then he'll do it. Edge is not going to be cheap. He's one of the last of. You know, we talk about this. Who's available, right? Like, what big names could do something? Batista, but he's not going there. Lesnar, he's not going there. Goldberg, it didn't work, right? They were teasing that. There were conversations that didn't happen. You already got Steve. You're not getting Steve Austin. You're not getting The Rock. You're not getting Hunter. You know, there's only X amount of guys from that generation that you could get. And really, I mean, Rob Van Dam and Edge, you know, that's what we're left with now.
You can get like some of the ECWs probably, you know, I mean, I wouldn't rule out Batista. Yeah, impactful. I wouldn't rule out exactly, but I wouldn't rule out a Batista appearance, not an in-ring.
I don't know. I don't see it. I think he's very loyal to Hunter, and you know, he doesn't want to. So if you have an opportunity with a guy like Edge that you know you could get a good year out of,
yep,
you know, and you keep it limited, yeah, I think that would help. Edge and Sting?
Oh my God. Edge and Sting, Edge and Kenny, all of it.
But you know, I do appreciate. You know, and this is something, right? Like, and we talk about like Randy Orton's wrestling style. They say it's boring. Edge is slow too with his style, methodical. Yeah. That is like, it is so good. And I think for AEW, it would be a nice little change to some of these matches for a lot of these guys to work with a guy like him. I think it would be great for him. I don't know though. I have no idea. I have zero insight on Edge. Next.
What's next, Jonathan?
All right. Next we have $4.99 Cadillac Carson. Happy Friday. The BCC faces the 4 Seinfeld characters. Who matches up with who?
Oh, first of all, I know that was so difficult for you to say BCC and not the other thing. And I heard the correction in your head.
He was like,
okay, so we got Jerry, we got George,
Elaine.
Well, we're not doing Elaine, right? Because it's the BCC. Jerry, George, Kramer, and Newman?
Jerry, George, Kramer, and Banya.
Steve Banya?
Yeah. You know what? Newman's a good one.
Puck.
But I do see Elaine taking on Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah, okay. Elaine and Wheeler Yuta, fine. Yeah. George and Moxley.
Moxley, 100%.
Jerry, he's cutting my head. Jerry. Cutting your head? Why? he hit me with an uppercut, George. He hit you with an uppercut. My head is bleeding. And then Kramer, who's Kramer with?
Jerry. Kramer, Danielson.
Oh yeah, that's the matchup right there.
Kramer and Danielson, and I like your beard. You know, it's a great beard you got there.
Danielson.
And Seinfeld and Claudio. Seinfeld versus Claudio, I think is funny in any kind of way you put it. You know,
I could just see Mox like chasing him with the skewers, like, get away from me.
Imagine Claudio just throwing Jerry up for that European uppercut.
he would just, his teeth would just be all over the floor.
He'd disappear. All you would see was two sneakers in the ring, and that's it.
All right. We didn't talk about this yet. Tony Donifrio. What's with the new Max Sports deal?
Wait. You say Tony Donifrio?
Yeah, bro. That's what his name is.
You work in news, man.
Look.
I think that guy's name is Tony Donofrio.
Donofrio.
Yeah.
Donofrio.
D'Onofrio. You were like Tony Donofrio.
Yo, is that Coco in the Avatar? Do you see that?
That guy's a fake Coco.
I think that's Coco.
Burner. It's Coco's burner.
It is. Yeah.
Can you update everyone on what you know pertaining to AEW/Mac?
They didn't announce it because the deal's not final, but this is just them preparing for this. I'm not sure if it's going to be included in that package. But if you're moving Bleacher Report to Max and AEW airs on Bleacher Report, doesn't it make sense that the pay-per-views are going to air on Max? You're not going to run two separate apps that have the same name or two platforms with the same name. And here's the thing, right? AEW has had a monthly pay-per-view since June.
Yeah.
May, he had May, right? Double or Nothing May, Forbidden Door in June. What was July? Was there anything in July or no?
July is usually Fight for the Fallen, and they have like a couple of gimmicky ones, right?
Did they have?
They're not
July
pay-per-views.
Show? No,
they didn't have a pay-per-view in July.
Okay.
No.
So they had a pay-per-view in May. They had a pay-per-view in June. They had a pay-per-view in August. They had a pay-per-view in September. They have one in October. They have one in November, and they have one in December. That's going to be airing, I think, the December 29th? December 22nd? December 20. It's one of those weeks. I can't remember off the top of my head. They've been running monthly pay-per-views the last couple months. I can't see them expecting people to pay $50 a month, or maybe they're waiting to see what that number looks like.
Yeah.
If 100,000 people are ordering that pay-per-view every month, I would say you have to be nuts to make this $9.99 a month.
Right.
You're leaving a lot of money on the table. But, TV rights are a thing. Max is trying to grow. They're trying to, sports is a big part of this. So I see them coming. I anticipate 2024, early 2024, but it could be as early as December.
Yeah.
I don't have a hard date, so I'm not going to report it because I don't have a hard date.
All right.
What's next?
So this is Good Doer 627. He said, "Hey guys, do you see a potential / legit ROH show on the way? I'm noticing ROH getting a lot of play across AEW programs."
I have no insight on ROH. It doesn't even come up in conversations with people I know at Warner Media, high and low in Warner Media. I don't know if that's because they see it all under the AEW umbrella and they're not educated on the product, or they really have no interest. I don't know. But, you have Fridays for an hour, and you could really make that your ROH type show. Right. But what happens to Honor Club if is ROH part of that deal for the archives for Max? If it is, I would think that adds great hope to Ring of Honor. They're running quarterly pay-per-views anyway. They run 4 Ring of Honor pay-per-views anyway. So, and that's on Bleacher Report. So is that going to go over the Max also? There's a lot of questions here, right? And some of it is common sense and you can kind of figure out on your own, but a lot of it's up in the air. They have 20-something years of archives that Tony bought. You could do some sort of presentation with this and build on that. But I don't know. I think Ring of Honor needs to figure out what they're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next is from Hogan. He said, #AskMattMen. Would you like to see WWE and or AEW run some unique venues? Historical small arenas, Mall of America, Gunther versus Brock outdoors in the Rocky Mountains, etc.
Yeah, I would love it. I don't think they're going to run smaller. I don't think WWE is going to run smaller, unique arenas. I think now with the Endeavor stuff, they're bigger than ever, and that's what they're looking at. I think AEW could definitely do smaller venues, considering they're not selling out these large venues. You could run a Hammerstein type venue. You could run an opera theater. Like whatever. You remember those unique venues that NXT was running? Some of them were great, but other ones were not so great. You could pick and choose and run some couple of unique venues that really impress you on camera, and you're not in a half-empty building.
Outdoor amphitheaters comes to mind.
I hate outdoor amphitheaters. They
Same
suck.
here.
Yeah.
Elks Lodge. Also, great avatar. Ranch it up.
Okay, so we have this question from Nico, #AskMattMen. Is there anything? He makes a great Caesar salad. Is there
a great Caesar salad
to the Axios report about Vince stepping away?
I want you guys to do me a favor, okay? Last night, I retweeted intern Deacon's post about my dog and his Caesar salad. Could you guys just go to Twitter and just flood the comments with Nico Caesar salad's the best. We love Nico Caesar salad.
What a Caesar salad. Great Caesar salad.
What a Caesar salad. Great Caesar salad. Top 10 Caesar salad. Just if you could post that, somebody could post that in the chat and you guys could go there. That would make my entire freaking weekend. Just flood him with Caesar salad comments. Thank you.
You post
also repost all our stuff.
Asman, is there anything to the Axios report about Vince stepping away? No, I mean it's an accountability assessment that Endeavor did, and that's just very standard. That's very standard in corporate stuff. So I don't know what it means, but I think it's a very standard thing to do where you're assessing risk factors with key people in key positions and whether or not it's a detriment or it's a positive. So I don't know. I could ask around a little bit, but I took it as it's a very common thing. So what he did, I'm not saying is a common thing, but the risk factor assessment is a common thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
How many more questions do y'all want?
I could do a couple more.
Yeah, let's do two more.
Cool. Then we will go with this one. Where'd it go? MG, are you deleting stuff? Here we go.
No.
From Scar Happy, do you think AEW will now try to focus on AEW tag team belts again with possible Hardys versus Sexton, Hardcastle / Cage, and Bucks and TR?
Imagine if Edge came to AEW as Sexton Hardcastle. How
that'd
fantastic.
Be great. That'd be so good.
See, I don't see him fitting in that gimmick that Christian's doing now. It's so bizarre. So,
well, I think they would come in and they would feud with each other, and then they become the tag team, and then you get like those dream matches again. You get the Hardys, you get FTR, you get Bucks. One last ride for Edge and Christian. They go back to WWE, get their Hall of Fame stuff, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what their planning is with the tag titles, but there was a lot of tag team stuff happening on Collision.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. We'll end it with this next one. Brian Knight, #AskMattMen. What is your most memorable wrestling show you've attended?
You go first, Rich.
Ooh, honestly, I will say, the Chicago show from
2021
2 years ago.
Yeah.
From 2021, the All Out Chicago was probably my favorite show. Second underneath that New Japan
Ring of Honor.
That New Japan Ring of Honor show
at the Garden
was a very special place in my heart at the Garden because it was at the Garden, and that was just a great day overall. Yeah, how about you?
SummerSlam 91, because that made me love wrestling. That was the show. I thought WrestleMania 20 was fun at the Garden. I was at the Royal Rumble where Taz debuted, but as far as super memorable, I would say the two most memorable shows, definitely All Out 21 and 91 SummerSlam. Those are the two.
30 years apart, huh?
I was there just for the match made in heaven.
Oh yeah. How old are you? You were what, 7?
7, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I love that.
Crazy that you remember that so vividly.
I remember all of it. I remember top to bottom that entire card. I remember watching the matches. I remember everything about that show. LOD won the titles.
You took a cab from your house by yourself.
You're smoking a cigarette the whole time. Not that. Remember back in New York, you could smoke your cigarettes at 7 years old in the cab?
Oh, yeah. In the back of a cab wearing a little Gopaline hat.
Yeah.
Simpler
You're
times.
Like a little newsie.
Simpler times. All right, boys and girls, we are wrapping it up. I'll be back on Sunday with a Wrestling Observer Live. We'll be back next week with Mattmen. I'll be back with We're Live Pal. Rich, anything? Oh, and Rich's Twitter. Go follow him. At BTC Rich. We're going to be posting all of his shots from. Are these more questions? What's happening here?
No,
I think somebody smushed the keyboard with their face.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't know. Whatever. I'm ending the show. Goodbye.
Yeah, later, guys.